Okay, good afternoon, Chamber Review Commission. I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's 6 o'clock p.m. and I would note we do have a quorum, so thank you everybody for showing up. The first order of business tonight is to nominate a commission chair, and that way we can have them run the meeting. So, okay. Okay, we have a nomination for Cheryl Schramm. In a second. Okay.
I would like to nominate Rob Foster because he has been instrumental in bringing some of these changes that are needing to be made to our attention.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I'll second that.
Okay.
So we got two
Yep.
nominations.
All right. Okay, I guess we have to put it to vote. What's that? Yeah. Well, we'll have to put it for. Okay, all right. All right, well, let's vote for the first motion. We'll take a tally here. All in favor of the first motion for Cheryl Schramm?
I have a question first.
Yes.
Can we vote once or twice?
Well, go easy on the rookies up here. I mean, I don't see why not. We can clarify a chair and a co-chair. But let's do the first vote first. So, all in favor for Cheryl Schramm as chair? 1, 2. Okay, well, that's fast. Okay, well, that makes it easy then.
That's okay.
Okay.
There's already,
All in favor of Rob Foster as co-chair? Okay, all right.
okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Chair Pro Tem.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, yes. Would it be okay if I shut one door? Oh, please, yes. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I would like to turn it over to Chairperson Cheryl Schramm.
Okay, under the general item, number 3, we're going to review, discuss, and consider possible action regarding A, discuss and set a schedule for the charter amendments on the ballots for November 5, 2024 general election. Is there, anyone have something to say about that? Ms. Russell?
Thank you. In your notebooks under the, I think it's the second or third tab, you should have a memorandum from our city attorney, Pat Chesser, with important deadlines. And the main deadline that we are working toward, if we want to be on this November 5th election ballot, is that we have to, the last possible day the city council can issue an ordinance to call for an election on the charter amendment is going to be Monday, August 19th. The August city council meetings are the 1st and the 15th. Yeah. So that is our deadline that we're trying to meet. So this charter commission will need to be completed before then and have everything to the council to review, discuss, approve, and issue the ordinance for the election by the 19th of August. And then all the other deadlines, such as publication in the paper and sending the charter amendments to all registered voters, all in the month of October, that's all on me. But I won't be able to move forward with that if, of course, if that ordinance is not issued by the council by August 19th.
So in this, does it say when the attorney needs to have it in order to review it and make sure all the wording is correct? Is that all assuming he will be able to take care of that after Monday, August the 19th?
He will need to take care of that before we send it to council for approval.
Okay. So he needs it before August 19th? Or if he gets it on August 19th, he has enough time? Which is it?
No, August 19th is the last day city council, they can call a special meeting.
I see.
and approve an ordinance calling for the election.
Okay. Does anybody else have something to say about this?
I think we need to have it ready 1 month prior to that,
It'll give us some breathing space.
some
Is
breathing
that
room.
enough time? He's not here to represent himself. Is that enough time?
I would think that's enough time for the lawyer to review it,
Yes.
because,
Okay.
but we need to be done 1 month prior to the deadline, so that any unforeseen circumstances can be taken care of.
That would
So
be feasible,
You think that's feasible?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
So how much time does that give us?
To July 19th.
To July 19th, which is,
Is there a particular night that the attorney can meet with us? I know he's busy.
I didn't try to get him here tonight just because this is just kind of more of a kickoff meeting.
Right.
But we will try to schedule meetings with y'all and with him available, one of the two available.
Yeah. I think that would-
Since Pat wrote this, the amendments, you know, I would, suggest that we use, I think, though, Robert Brown, I think, wrote the original charter. So
Yes.
both of them are well-versed in the charter, so.
yes.
Do we know how many meeting attempts we are going to try to be doing to be able to get this done?
As many as it takes, but that's up to y'all. However deep you want to dive and look at things. It can be as simple as approving recommendations from the attorney or reviewing every sentence. That's up to y'all.
So, anybody have something to say about that? About how many times they're willing to meet? How many times they think we need to meet? Rob?
Well, I've looked over the recommendations that the attorney made, and I don't believe we're going to be here even close to the deadline. There are a couple of areas that need to be considered immediately, that are urgent, in my opinion, but then past that, it's just going to be some housekeeping stuff. I think 4 meetings, in my opinion, ought to be sufficient.
Anybody else? You have anything else to say about that?
Well, an important thing in the timetable is to properly inform the public as to what this is, so everybody's well aware. That'll be an important piece.
A period of time to educate the public and get out there and promote it?
Speak into your
When?
mic. Speak into-
Speak into it more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank-
So how would y'all feel about scheduling 4 meetings for sure now, and then we'll see how that goes? Does that sound fine? I feel like, yeah.
Are Thursday nights generally acceptable to most everybody? When is the attorney available? I will find out. He's not often available Thursday nights,
Right,
but Robert Brown.
yes.
Yes. Yep. So we could almost,
Piggyback.
Do you want to have it on the opposite Thursday nights?
you could have it, well, I mean, you want to get here, you could have it 4, but then you'd be crunched and not everybody could be here by 4 or 5 or whatever. So yeah, you could flip-flop those dates.
Do I remember correctly that Pat could be here on the 4th Thursday?
Yes.
Okay, so that would coincide with the alternate Thursdays.
Right.
Okay. So you're thinking of having the next meeting on the 25th? So,
Yeah.
do we need a motion for our first meeting to take place on the 25th, or do you want to just go through and go 25th? And then we have to look, the council is on the 1st and 3rd, so we have the 9th, the 23rd, and is that 4 meetings, and then we
3.
could,
4th would be in June.
Would there be any wisdom in having 1 meeting a week for the first couple
Yeah.
times, just to see how
Yeah.
in the weeds we
how
want to
fast we
get?
can get through it?
Right, rather than going every other week and then realizing, oh my word, we're only on page 2?
Okay.
Just according.
So are you saying then go to a different day? Does anyone have any input on a different day? What other meetings do we have here?
We have EDCA, B.
B meets and stays till 5. And P and Z,
Yeah.
they're at 6?
Planning and zoning is the only one at 6 o'clock. All the others are
On which day?
on
Mondays.
Monday.
Mondays?
Tuesday.
Does that work for you, Ms. Beeson?
The 25th? Oh, Tuesday. Oh, we've changed.
So what about Tuesday? Can everybody see their calendar and see if Tuesdays work?
I'll make it work.
If we do it 4 Tuesdays in a row is what Rob is suggesting. I don't hear any disagreement or see anybody waving their hand.
So 4 weeks on Tuesdays, 2 in April and 2 in May.
4 weeks on Tuesday. Well, there's actually 3 in April if we start next week on the 16th. That would take us to May 7.
Oh, there's the 30th, yes, yes. Okay.
So, are you good on Tuesday?
Do you want 2-hour blocks or longer? Or?
I think we need 2 hours.
Yeah.
As I've been reading through everything, and I know not everybody's maybe had a chance to read, but when you get into this, you'll see, I think it's a very good charter. We need to tweak some things. The attorney seems to have some really good things. I had a problem getting his things off of the website today, so I haven't been able to see all of that. Have some of the rest of you been able to look at it? And do you know how to get it from the website and get your agendas? Yeah, that's so loud. So I'll try to lean forward for Gwen. I'm doing, yeah, and they don't have, okay, so is there a motion for the meetings to be held on Tuesday? This is what I understand. The motion would be for them to be held on Tuesday, starting the 16th?
We just have this as a discussion, but I can.
Okay,
schedule.
it's just a discussion then. We don't have to, the 23rd, the 30th, and the 7th. That would be our proposed
Okay.
Will it be at 6 p.m.?
at 6. That way we could be finished by 8.
Does that work for you guys? Does it work?
We want to do these 4 meetings before we talk to the attorney, or do we want to see if the attorney can meet us on the 25th?
I will have another meeting on the 25th,
Well, move the 23rd to the 25th.
the 23rd to the 25th.
Because he can meet on the last Thursday of the month. if that
Okay,
works
yeah.
out.
Not on the 25th. It's on the 18th.
Make one of the Tuesdays.
Unless he can make it Tuesday.
Okay.
So you'll
Check
find
with
that
him.
out for us and get back to us, okay? All right, so I guess we just are going to have Mr. Batla work that out for us and send us, is there anything else? Anybody else have anything they want to say? Bobby, you've been real quiet. Okay. That would all work for you? Okay. All right, then going on to B, it's review, discuss, and consider the recommended changes proposed by the city attorney and city council.
Okay, I do have something to add
Okay?
to this. I have something I'd like to read to the commission before we start on this item. I wanted to kick the meeting off on the proper footing, but there's one item that I must address first. This is a posted meeting involving council, and we are also live streaming. It is critical that we ensure that all aspects of the meeting and commission are 100% transparent and above scrutiny. The posting of this meeting was done with the proper 72 hours notice and posted on our website and at City Hall as required. However, one thing that I failed to do was post the notice on our social media account until yesterday. This is not required, but I feel critically important to the transparency of this endeavor. Due to the sensitive nature of a charter review, I do not want any public perception that this meeting was rapidly scheduled in an attempt to hide anything or keep the public from attending. Therefore, I would respectfully submit to the Commission and highly recommend that we discuss the schedule and required timetables as we have just done, and pass out the charter along with the attorney reviews, which you have in your packets, which is already on this agenda, but refrain from discussing and recommending changes until we have had a chance to both review the materials that you've just received tonight and ensure that a thorough public notice has been given in every way that we can.
Okay. So, thank you. I take from that then that basically we've received our
You've
book,
got your homework.
we've got our homework, and we're going to review it. We certainly haven't had time to go into discussion or make any recommendations at this point. And as I said, I had difficulty trying to retrieve it off of the website, and it's probably my computer. I had problems today with it for other things. Does that sound good?
Yep.
I'm talking, I'm going to have to go sit down there so I can talk to the whole group. Okay. So, unless there's something else that's germane to this, I guess.
We do have one housekeeping item
Okay.
to consider. It's been requested that everybody be on kind of an equal footing as far as either up here or down here, et cetera, at this meeting. We are live streaming, so it's better to be up here. The two of us next time can move down to the floor, but if possible, we could get the commission up here. I don't know if we can all squeeze in. We have a few more members, but we'll make it work.
There's
We can,
Yeah, we got,
some
that way
space
it just
there.
puts everybody up here.
Okay,
we got plenty of room up here.
okay. That sounds good.
Yes, well, yeah, we'll have to share mics, but that would be better anyway. That way you'll have each of you'll have a mic.
I have a question.
Good.
Is there going to be any public comments throughout this process?
Okay. Yes, the public may speak. Your chairperson will recognize them. We do not need yellow cards for this. They would either raise their hand or approach the podium, however they wish to be seen, and then called on to speak on the topic at hand. And then going back to reviewing the city council's recommendation to the city attorney's recommendations for changes, I did not yet provide you with those. I will email them to all of you, and they will be provided in the agenda packet online for the next meeting so that the public can also have those recommendations that were made at the March 21st city council meeting.
Great. That sounds wonderful. Good. Okay, I'll look around. Anybody else? Bobby?
What will be the procedure if we recommend other changes? See, for example, if I see some other housekeeping that the attorney has not recognized that I think would benefit.
Could we have an item for suggested items for upcoming agendas? And then have a process. You can always probably reach, since this is a commission and we are trying to do the best for our community, make recommendations to the council, probably reach either the city secretary or Mr. Batla. Does that sound appropriate? And with anything that you're concerned about getting on the agenda. I think it should be pretty open for us to be able to put our concerns on the agenda and no suppression of any of that, because that's what this is for, is to get that all out.
Yes.
You think? Okay? All right.
So,
The
No.
walking quorum Texas open meetings, does that apply to this commission?
So I'll go ahead, yeah, I'll repeat the question about the quorum. No, well, yes, this is a posted meeting, so we don't have any walking quorum issues with the posted meeting, so. But outside of the posted meeting, I'll defer that to you. We still have the, quorum, walking quorum issues if stuff's outside, done outside of the public meeting.
So do we need a little training sheet or some kind of refreshers? Not everybody here has been on a board or a commission or anything before.
Okay,
Some of us know and some of us don't,
okay. We'll put a little refresher at the start of next meeting.
okay? Does that answer your question? Good. Rob?
I'm just wondering, ooh, wow.
You got it on.
Got a live mic here.
We wanted to make sure you were all heard.
I'm just wondering if we need to specify what we want put on the agenda ahead of time.
Okay.
Why not just leave it open and just have a time when the public can say, like we do for a council, public comments, they can make their concerns, or whomever on the commission can make their concerns. Rather than having, I'm just asking if it wouldn't make it more open, I suppose, if we could just say, what about adding X, Y, Z? And during the meeting as
Yes.
opposed to putting it on the agenda. The
So we
agenda
can,
would-
but if we put that as an item on the agenda, it can be that. If somebody thinks of something between time, then this is who to reach.
I would just think, just make it a blanket comments, or additional
Okay.
comments, or, I don't even know if it needs, since we're a commission, do we have to say what exactly specifically we're going to be addressing in the charter? The charter is the overall document here, so I think just if someone from the audience or wants to speak on it, then, hey, come on up and talk.
Yeah. On each and every item.
Or even if it's something new that they think we need to add.
Okay.
I mean, it might be helpful to note certain topics that you don't want to forget to discuss, and then also have that open call for the public or,
My only concern is that in order to put it in the agenda, it has to have 72 hours ahead of time. So
Oh, if
that's-
we do, we might have to, by law, need 72 hours. So it would be an item they could bring up, but we couldn't. That's what you're saying is, can we just have open discussion? How will we be prepared to discuss those items if the attorney isn't here every time?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is if Joe Sixpack is out here and he wants to bring up something on page 4 of the charter, and he's only here for one night, one time, we need to let them come up and state their case.
I think
rather
what,
than-
Yes.
I think what you're saying is the agenda is the charter,
Exactly, that is.
from
right.
front to
So
back.
it's already on the agenda.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, if
You're
it's,
saying it's
if it's a
already on the
new
agenda?
item someone wants to add to the charter, if it's not an
Can
existing,
we find out if we can do that or have it be
Oh, Yeah,
that way?
We keep it generic, just kind of like 3B is tonight. Review, discuss, and consider the recommended changes proposed.
yeah, if it's not an item already in the charter, then we probably need to have it posted that we're gonna talk about something new, not in the charter. But if it's in the charter and we're tweaking it, that's covered by, we're talking about the charter.
So if we're going to have this item, this is going to be an item to just talk about anything in the charter. There will be posted items that the attorney will, the whole thing isn't just going to be open season.
Well, why not?
Well, aren't we going to have to know, don't you want the items that are of your concern on the agenda specifically, if they aren't already brought up by Mr. Chesser?
No, I thought that the whole point of this was to put a brain trust together to review the entire document. So we've got some recommendations in here. Let's go off of those. And then if there's something else that comes up that people want to discuss, then that's by all means. But as far as, it's just me thinking, okay, so say we put on the agenda items 1, 2, 3, and 4 that Mr. Chesser put in here, okay? Then what if in 30 minutes we do that, we could have done 5, 6, 7, and 8, but because they weren't on the agenda, we're handcuffed. Let's just make it an open meeting. We're going to discuss the charter and not specify exactly, because the public is going to know, hey, this is all about the charter. So if they want to come see or put input in, then come on down every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock and we'll make it happen. But to say that we're going to be on page 2 tonight, going to page 4, or however that plans out, I don't want to be tied to that. If we can do this in 2 meetings, then let's do it in 2 meetings. If it takes 12, what, you know what I'm saying? Rather than going through so much formality, let's just make it open and we're all here and talking about it and make it, just do it as we progress through the charter. What do you mean? Right?
And then if we see something that's wrong, then if we have everybody maybe bring up something else, and then we have to set more meetings, are we gonna meet our deadline?
Well, therein is the challenge. And that's, you know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it 4 weeks in a row, just to see how in the weeds we get doing this. That's all I have to say, Chairperson.
Well, we're not voting on anything tonight specifically, so I understand what you're saying, but I do think we need a little bit of parameter. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. We're just going to have a happy time discussing everything. And we are going to be making recommendations, so we're going to have to have motions and a vote on specific things, and we may need wording. We may need to bring a lot of things up, don't you think, Gwen?
I'm not interrupting you, I hope.
No,
Okay.
I'm just.
But I think we should take this book home.
Yes.
And compare the attorney's suggestions
With
of
our-
change to what is actually in the charter at the time, and then make our own notes and bring those notes back to and that if you see something like Mr. Bradbury said that he feels like would be a benefit to add to it, then I think we should consider that.
Well, how about this? We know for sure that next time we're going to start with the discussion of the items in this book.
Yeah.
And we'll just take them in the order that he
The
has
lawyer.
presented them.
Yes.
And then we'll see what else develops and have it, if it could be worded in such a way when you guys speak to the attorney so that we could have that kind of exchange in open forum, then that, I think everybody here would be fine with that as long as it doesn't become too chaotic.
Yeah.
Well, you could just easily
Next.
say that
Sorry, go ahead.
the next agenda item is 3B, review, discuss, and consider the recommended changes proposed by the city attorney. Boom, that's our agenda item.
That's, and that may take us a whole 2 hours, or like you said, after we read it, we may, boom, 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 30 minutes, we're done.
If we discuss what the attorney is recommending, maybe we need to have an agenda item that says, review the recommended changes from what we think or add to for the next meeting, because then public comments, if somebody says, hey, I'd like to see this change, well, we're not going to necessarily talk about it right then and there because we all want to have a chance to review it before we talk about it. So then that's our homework for the next week, to come back the week next to be able to discuss what they asked about or what we asked about in the next meeting. So the attorney's recommendations probably should be first. I still like the blanket statement, so that way we're not narrowing ourselves, because if we get it done in 30 minutes, we may want to do more. And, you know what I'm saying? And then that way we've got more time, so.
Does anybody else have something on this? I just wonder if we don't need some mechanism, though, to keep track, so that the city secretary can at least keep track of what's coming up, so that we can we can be reminded of what has been suggested. Gwen?
As, I mean, we know what we're here
Yes.
for.
Okay.
And so, however you want to lay it out, that's fine. You're the chair.
I want to make sure it's working for you guys, because we need to get through it.
Agendas limit, and we're trying, in my opinion, we're trying to make this where everybody can speak. If it's in reference to the charter,
Then
Chuck said the charter is the agenda. So let's don't limit ourselves.
sounds good. I'm fine with it, unless somebody else isn't. Okay? Anything else? I don't see an item for anything else. It needs to be there. Okay.
I have one more statement.
Yes, sir.
I think at the beginning of the meeting, we should, if we have something we want to talk about in that meeting, we should say it, and we'll put it at the tail end of the flowing agenda. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, back to who's going to keep track of that?
Right. Well, it's,
I don't think I can do this plus keep track of it. There
No,
are
yeah.
12 of us, so we need,
that's what I say, at the beginning of the meeting, does anybody want to talk about something specific tonight? We all say, well, I want to talk about this page. Then we go into the lawyer's things, then we flow into that new, that makes sense?
Item.
Yeah. So there's some form, but it is open.
but Rob's point is, it really isn't a new item because the charter is the big overall item. So we
And I
don't
guess
have to
it's-
worry about it being an item.
I guess it's we want to discuss, and then it's whatever, section 3, 5, whatever, you know. Okay, just a way to track it.
Yes,
Or sense. Yeah.
okay.
I got it.
Okay. Yes,
So why don't we do the attorneys first and then start at the beginning and say, does anyone have anything for this section? And just move right on through.
well, I think the next time we are going to start with what the attorney has, and as we go, we may think of some things, if then the city secretary can keep track of that.
We start at the beginning and just, because there may be several here that nothing needs to be changed because it is worded so good.
And and that reminds me, I do want to mention, how formal do you want to be? Can I call you Rob? Can I call you Gwen? Or do you want to be?
Yes.
Okay,
And formal.
yes, okay.
Mr. Johnson.
We'll call you Mr. Johnson. We'll remember that. Okay, unless somebody has something else, I think we can adjourn. Okay?
Yes.
Everybody fine with that? Okay.
Meeting adjourned at 6:32.